I am so excited to announce that my book, Your Content Rebellion, is coming out soon. And one of the big ideas that I talk about in it is this idea of shaking off the shoulds. Basically, we are surrounded by so many people telling us what we should and shouldn't do in our businesses, well, really any area of our lives. But it gets so paralyzing because when we listen to all these other people telling us what we should be doing, these quote unquote experts, we forget that we are the ultimate experts in what works for us and by extension, our businesses. It's enough to give you mega doubts over what's right for you and paralyze you into not taking action. I know that I've been there myself. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about those shoulds that you're surrounding yourself and what you can do to start freeing yourself from them today. For far too long, business owners and solopreneurs have been forcing themselves to create content even when they hate it. So we think that because we are not primarily bloggers or content creators first, that the priority to enjoy our content is not a big thing. There's no room for enjoyment in the process, and content just becomes one of these things that we force ourselves to do. And I don't need to tell you that when you force yourself to do something, you're much less likely to volunteer to do it or to do it consistently enough to start to see the results from that activity. So if this has come up for you before, you may have asked yourself this question: should I quit content if I really don't enjoy it? And the short answer to that is no, which shouldn't be surprising to you, because as a content strategist, yeah, of course I'm going to say that. And the big reason is that I don't want to see you miss out on all of the benefits that come from content creation, such as increased traffic and visibility. And because of that increased traffic and visibility, more sales because more people on your website checking out what you do, plus increased trust from your audience and from your leads as well, which will also lead to more sales either immediately or down the road. So I don't think that as an online business owner, content is something that you can just skip. I know that there are people out there telling you that it is possible, and some people advocating not to do content and that it is a huge waste of time. But I would ask yourself if, the post that they're using to tell you not to create content, is that content, right? And the truth is that it is. So they're not exactly doing what they say, which is a little bit hypocritical in my book. Luckily, I do think that it's possible to find more enjoyment in the process. And that is what we're going to be talking about today, because I think that the first step to doing that is actually to shake off the shoulds. We are so surrounded by experts and bloggers and other business owners. I have been guilty of this myself, telling us what we should be doing to make our business and content work, actually our lives, right? Everyone's telling everyone what they should be doing in all of these different areas, and it leaves very little room for us to discover what's actually aligned with what we want to do. So instead, we should probably be framing the conversation as, this is something that worked for me. You might be curious to try this. So if you feel like you are stuck in a tug of war between all of the people telling you the shoulds, put down the rope and remember you are not alone in that. And also, if you were to try to do all of the shoulds that people are telling you, I know for me, all of the shoulds surrounding all the areas of my life, and especially all the areas of my business, it would be impossible to do all of them. I do not have enough time in the day to do all of those shoulds. And so it becomes a matter of prioritization. If you can't do all of them anyways, then it's up to you to really decide which ones are going to work for you. So that's going to start with shaking off the shoulds. Whenever I'm starting to shake off the shoulds, what I like to start with is preparing for a clean slate. I like to take inventory of all the shoulds that are roaming up around there. So I do a big giant brain dump of all of the shoulds, or, could be stuff that maybe other people aren't even putting pressure on me about. It could be stuff that I'm putting pressure on myself. So what are all of the shoulds that are roaming around in your head around your content and marketing? Is it video? Is it blogging? Is it making sure your SEO is on point? Is it Pinterest? What are all the things? So first, let's start with a clean slate by just getting all of those things out there. We want them out of your head, off of your heart, and onto the paper, just so you know what you're working with, right? A lot of the time, these shoulds and these assumptions and these expectations are operating under the surface. And by putting them all on a piece of paper where you can see them, we're bringing them into the light so that we can do something about them and properly evaluate them, because they might be right for you. Some of them might be right for you, but we just want to know what it is we're operating with. Step number one, I would love for you to take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, and just brain dump all of the things that people tell you you should be doing. I want you to get those down on the paper. Step 2 of this process, and there are only 2 steps, is actually inspired by Kim Cattrall. I love this quote from her. I try not to listen to the shoulds or coulds and try to get beyond expectations, peer pressure, or we're trying to please and just listen. I believe all answers are ultimately within us, and the same is true with your content. So what I want you to do now is go through that list. Which of these are guilts, right? Which of these do you have no interest in doing? Now, I like to really start by, I think it's easiest to start with your list by crossing out the hell no's. So go through that and get rid of anything that you don't see yourself doing in any lifetime, right? Those are often the easiest ones to get rid of. The second step is to go through the ones that you know are heck yeses, right? So what are the yeses on that list? Go through and highlight those. And then finally, what are the maybes, right? So what are the ones that you're curious about? Maybe you haven't tried, maybe you think will be right down the road, so you can highlight those a different color. And then I like to organize my list into heck yeses, heck no's, and maybe someday perhaps. So organize your list in that, and then you should be closer to knowing what the shoulds are that you should be getting rid of, which should help you operate from a much cleaner slate than you were previously operating from. And hopefully that can clear the decks for you to start to create a content strategy and create a content how that is truly going to light you up and something that you're going to be able to do consistently enough to start seeing results from. This whole shaking off the shoulds concept was really the entire motivation behind the book. There were other motivations for sure, but this was the big one because I found with my peers, I know with myself, especially when we were first starting out, even now, like when you take courses and it seems like everyone is advertising their latest, greatest method, their 3-step plan of the things that you should be doing in your business if you want it to be a success. And you can often find yourself jumping from thing to thing to thing. And so what my whole goal behind Your Content Rebellion is to encourage you to figure out that stuff for yourself, is to bring a system of experimentation, what I call the play shops in the book, that will help you really create and design a content strategy and content workflow that is all based around what works for you, what you enjoy, and what is most aligned with what you want in business and how you want to show up. So if you're interested in checking out my book, Your Content Rebellion, I am so excited to share it with you. You can get the book on June 1st, 2020. That is the release date. But if you are clicking the link below this video before that date, it's going to bring you to a page where you can sign up to get a sample chapter and be on the list to be notified the very second the book is released, and you can grab a copy of it. And then after June 20th, it'll bring you straight to the link where you can sign up for the book. So I can't wait to hear what you think. If you have any questions or comments or any requests for videos you'd like me to cover in the future, please leave them below this video and make sure to hit that subscribe button for videos just like this one every single Monday.